So my first insight was to correct that huge anomaly. And I reconceptualized it as do but don't do, or action of no action. Don't do anything instrumentally. Do and leave it. Do and do in a way that you almost didn't do it. And never do anything to force your way against the natural course of events. I'll talk about the consequence of this change in mindset later on in my presentation and how that has tremendously changed my responses and my behavior. So one important realization for me is that I don't have to plan too much, think too much about planning, and that things will happen. And they do happen. And that there is no agent called me. The less I use that word, the better off I am. And I have really seen that change. Because what happens is the moment we assume that agency, that I did this, we don't observe the wonders of the process. So agency delimits our experiences, and the joy is in the experience. So my task was to do but stay away from it, do but be detached from it, and look at what is happening and see the whole unfolding of it, rather than thump my chest and claim victory. My second observation, my second experience has been that the Ilan Vital, the soul and the Atman, or the creative force within, it is that energy that helps you connect with a higher force. I don't have a name for the higher force because with every step of the journey, I have strayed farther and farther from established religion, and I'm so happy about it. My meditation today is the preparation of my mind to make it ready to receive, so that I can flow with the process of life as it is meant to, rather than block the flow with my stupid assumptions of what I want and what I need and what I must have. And unless I stop thinking about these things, I would never be able to allow life to flow through me, the decisions of life to flow through me, or my destiny to guide me. And this reconceptualization has been a very important progress, a very important milestone for me, because now I have an original view of my world, of what is my world, my role, office, my home. Though I'm very reluctant to reiterate the word my many times. The context with which I have been blessed. That's the right way to say it. And to play the role there. So what should be my role there? To act correctly, completely, firmly, and elegantly. And that's it. Just leave the rest. To Tao, to the flow of life, to destiny, to however you may describe it. So this stepping aside has been a major growth spurt for me. So these have been the three important originalizations that I have made from the sessions. And I have represented them in the form of the plant readying and maturing to a stage where the blooming happens in the form of the flower. So now I talk about the blooming or the consequences of the learning. What it has done to me and to many things around me. The first petal of that blooming, the first aspect of that blooming is a change in mindset. And all of these are very honest, genuine confessions. As I speak today, I hold a near complete confidence in self. I have no doubt about myself. And it's a great place to be in. One of the ways in which you would feel when you are in that state is an inner calm. I feel I have nothing to prove because I am the proof. And that is a state of inner calm, of being cool. What this has done to me is that it has increased my patience, and I'm really a person never in a hurry now. Hurry for things to happen or things to do. I remind myself that I should allow life to happen rather than try to orchestrate things. Another mindset, very important one at that, has been the acceptance of life as a series of samasyas. And that exercise has left an indelible mark on me. In seeing and observing the samasyas every creature goes through, and that life itself is made up of a series of these. What would life be without them? I now have an appreciation of the beauty of life in both its simplicities and its complexity. And simplicity because I also am aware of the placidity of life. Some days are very calm, some phases of life are placid, while some are exciting with a lot of activity. And it's good to see that pattern in your life. And my attempt has been to maintain that placidity and intersperse it with bouts of excitement. And for me, that combination seems to work well because too much of excitement would tire anybody off. And we need that placid environment to rejuvenate, to think, to reflect, to learn, to read, to do the simple things in life. So being able to manage both and keep a balance has been a major mindset change. The next one is changes in my thinking and actions. In terms of analysis, I make it a point to use the rule of three while analyzing a problem so that, I'm not stuck with my assessment and I force myself to look at what could be the other ways of looking at the same issue. That's very helpful. And as a consequence, what's happened is I have found answers to long-standing dilemmas. Issues I've been grappling with for a long time, but now I suddenly seem to have an answer. And I realized this is the answer. Where was it until now? And I'm so sure this is the answer. So what has the clarity done to me? One of the ways in which it has worked, and I've been unwavering completely in my decisions. But I use the word unwavering because I have made that decision after adequate deliberation. It's not an impulsive decision which I then try to justify. No. But once I've taken, I've stood by it, and I have seen the fruits of that decision, of being unwavering. It has helped me so much. So how did I behave at that point in time when I had to take the decision? I was correct for and complete in my decision. I evaluated and made a decision and then stood by it in spite of family and advisors coaxing, urging, almost forcing me to change. But I stood my ground, and it has had very positive consequences. The other thing is the timing of actions. This again, I notice always about myself these days that the way I time things has changed in the sense that I'm never impulsive now. In fact, for some decisions, I have decided not to do anything and not to respond to an email or not to call a person or not to act on something, and that not acting has helped me. Which comes to the realization that timing is very important. It isn't just about what you do, but when you do majorly matters. I don't know how, but somehow I have got my timing right. Changes in language. Because we use words and writing and prose and poetry and conversations so often in life, in fact, that connects us with everything around us. It's quite evident for me and easy probably to identify those changes. So I see myself that I'm able to utilize the power of words much more effectively without at the same time getting trapped in them. So the moment we develop a referent reality perception, we are not trapped in words. We are able to see much, much beyond them. And that gives you freedom to play around with words without getting entangled in them. So now I'm aware of the limitations of words. And why I say this is because I'm able to perceive and understand the indescribable and the inexpressible. I don't feel limited by words. Because I've been able to glide across the gateless gate of words. Changes in the state of being. This is a description of my current state. Where I have experienced enhanced intuition. And each one of this has happened to me several times. So many times for me to be sure that they're not a fluke. Something has changed somewhere. And these are the consequences of those changes. I'm less affected by external judgment. I'm hardly affected, in fact, by what friends say, peers say, relatives say. And they say a lot of things. I'm not anxious or worried about my future. That coolness, that inner sense of calm pervades. Life is anyway a series of samsas. What is there to worry? And I'm ready for any challenge. I'm just ready. At the same time, I'm not overly thrilled by responses of others or events, which when I look back, if those responses had come from those people or those events happened a few years back, some of those would have had me jumping and dancing on the rooftop. There were things, there were responses, there were events which I so keenly looked forward to. Those have happened now. And I'm saying, fine, it's good. And that's it. That elation has been for 1 minute. And I'm back to my calm self. And that's so different from how I was. It's so different. And finally, this is from inputs which people close to me have also told me, and I have corroborated it with them before I put it in the slide, that I now have deeper conversations because that's what I'm interested in. They say my voice is softer and I'm gentler in my responses. So this is more of a description of how others see me, which I classified under state of being. And the last one is changes in context. It would be very limiting and almost unfair to claim all the advantages of the session for myself. Because through my change, many things around me have also changed. And 3 things have been evidenced in my life over and over. So I'm able to confidently share it with you today. The first one is synchronicity. So from somewhere something happens, which I too was trying, and the two come together and happen with Absolutely no reason and no connection at all. This has happened in several occasions and continues to happen. Secondly, I have nature's full support. And why not? Because I'm a part of it. I belong there. And the nature forces have supported me endlessly. Sometimes almost to remind me, hey, we are with you. That kind of a connection. And I feel so grateful to nature forces for that support. And the third one, I've seen outcomes which far exceed the input and output. So I work, I finish a project, but the outcome of the project is beyond me. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So in conclusion, I do believe that when we change, everything around us also changes. It has to change. And we live in that dynamic energy configuration. In that exchange of energies where one thing changes everything. But having said that, I'd like to share a core belief which I hold today. And that core belief is of nobodiness, of absolute surrender to the attendant spirit which guides me, which protects me, who's everything to me. And the best way I've realized to live is to surrender to its decisions. I don't decide. I just do what I'm told to do. And that ceding of control has been one of my biggest achievements. Because now I know I'm in the hands of the nature forces. And they will take care of me. This, I think, is that stage, what I thought of as being with the supraconscious. When I began Project Sundari. At that point, it was a word. Today, as I share this journey with you, I know it's reality. I experience its reality. And I'm forever grateful for this course, without which I would still be grappling in the dark with my many unanswered questions. So allow me to conclude with the deepest bow of gratitude to my mentor, who has brought me thus far. Thank you.